Imagine one moment, and the entire digital world we rely on simply disappears. Without warning, websites, applications, messengers, and everything connected to the global network stop working. Let's explore how humanity's life would change if the internet disappeared. And in the meantime, subscribe to the channel and like the video. It would mean a lot to me. In the beginning, society would plunge into chaos. The internet penetrates almost every aspect of life. Economy, transport, medicine, education, communication. Without it, financial markets would collapse. Banking systems that rely on online services would be paralyzed. People would lose access to their accounts and wouldn't be able to pay for goods and services. Supply chains would be disrupted. Logistics companies operating through the internet wouldn't be able to deliver food, medicine, and other essential goods. Store shelves would empty within days. Communication would break down. Instant messages and emails would disappear, leaving humanity with phone calls and letters as the main forms of communication. Many people would feel isolated. In a world where the internet has united billions, its disappearance would lead to mass social anxiety. The internet has become the backbone of our social life. Without it, social networks would disappear. Billions of users accustomed to daily updates would lose their usual way of expressing themselves and maintaining relationships. Information would become scarce. In the absence of search engines like Google, people would have to return to libraries, encyclopedias, and physical media. Increased isolation. People used to communicating through the internet would face difficulties establishing offline connections. Children and teenagers who have grown up with the internet would experience a particular shock. Transitioning to an analog life would be a serious challenge for them. The global economy, which also depends on the internet, would face the collapse of e-commerce. Companies like Amazon, eBay, and Alibaba would disappear. Small and medium-sized businesses dependent on online sales would go bankrupt. Problems with financial management. Online banking would become inaccessible. People would return to cash transactions, causing logistical problems. A new labor market. Many IT specialists, developers, and employees of digital companies would lose their jobs. Instead, specialists in analog systems would become in demand. Culture would experience a revolution. Television and radio would return to the forefront. Without streaming services like Netflix and YouTube, people would begin watching traditional TV channels and listening to the radio. Books and newspapers would experience a revival. Paper editions would once again become the primary source of information. Music and cinema would return offline. Concerts, theaters, and cinemas would become the main way of consuming entertainment. Distance learning systems that rely on the internet would disappear. Schools and universities would return to traditional forms of education. Textbooks, paper notebooks, and classrooms would become the foundation of education. The absence of distractions like social media could increase students' focus. However, access to new knowledge would become limited, slowing scientific progress. Scientific research, especially international projects, would be under threat. However, humanity would find ways to adapt. Knowledge exchange would become localized. Scientists would rely more on conferences and printed editions. New communication technologies. The disappearance of the internet would push humanity to develop alternative communication systems. The internet has played a key role in uniting people and spreading ideas. Without it, the political system would change. Social movements and protests would lose a powerful coordination tool. Propaganda would return to television and radio. States would gain more control over information dissemination. Localization of society. People would focus on their local communities, strengthening local ties. Gradually, society would adapt to life without the internet. People would spend more time with family, friends, and neighbors. The abandonment of server farms would reduce the load on energy systems. Scientists would begin looking for alternatives to the internet, such as decentralized communication networks. A world without the internet would be completely different. We would lose instant communication, access to information, and many conveniences. But perhaps we would gain something important: a deeper connection with loved ones, mindfulness, and balance. And what do you think? Could you live without the internet? Write in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to learn more about such scenarios.